Pick a glass. To Doug. Being here now.
What was that?
It's a new kind of bourbon.
The 2060 batch?
2080.
Ah, the Emperor's stuff.
I'm talking about what just happened. When we touch glasses, it's like electricity or something.
Oh, we probably passed through a new timeline.
Oh, right. Duh.
It's cool, huh?
I think we have different definitions of the word cool.
Please welcome creator of The Sims and SimCity, Will Wright, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. Pleasure to have you here. I have whittled away many hours of my life to your creations. So
well, that's
thank
good.
you for that. Yeah, and my parents hate you for that, Will.
Oh, of course they do.
But let's start off, of course, with Farmville. How much do you hate it?
You know, that's one game on Facebook I have not ever tried.
Really?
Yes.
How have you avoided the phenomenon and not fretted over your onions?
I just like look over other people's shoulder while they're playing it, and then I kind of look at this zoned out zombie expression, and then I know how parents feel. You know?
Right. You realize you want nothing to do with that experience whatsoever.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a great game, though.
No, don't be so sure. Don't be so sure.
Maybe it's not. Yeah.
It's big on the internet, which we know who uses the internet. But why the switch from gaming to TV? What brought about that?
Well, I've always been interested in the communities that we build online around games, and especially the creative communities that I've kind of been involved with. And I began thinking, how can we harness these thousands of people on the internet working together as a community into other mediums like television? Especially with something like The Sims, we saw a huge amount of storytelling.
Right.
People would capture stories, put them online, other people would read them, but they were all kind of parallel play. Everybody was telling their own story. And I began thinking about how can we get people working on the same creative things together?
You know, it's interesting that you harken back to The Sims and the way people created and did stories. Most of mine were locking somebody in the bathroom, then deleting the door, then deleting the toilet.
That's a whole genre.
And that was pretty much it.
Yes.
So
Sims snuff films, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how on earth did you have the trust of the internet to run a TV show?
Well, we actually opened a beta community about a year ago, and we did a lot of experimenting, kind of figuring out what worked and what didn't work. What we found that worked is that we take the professional production team that's going to take the storylines that they create and insert them as an editorial process. So basically, we have this, giant internet mob coming up with lots of ideas.
Right.
The production team looks at the top-rated ideas and says, okay, we can do those 5, but not those 5. And then we let the audience vote on those 5.
But that'll stop, because I mean, even when Spore came out, it was the race to create the most largest and realistic-looking phallus you can.
Yeah, pornography.
Pornography. Yes. So you do have some adults behind the wheel driving the show.
To some degree, yeah. But in fact, we have a production team in New York City run by Avi Hecht, and he's kind of fearless as a producer. And it really required somebody like that was willing to kind of break all the rules, because just making the time scales work, the kind of time they have to do this in production is incredibly tight.
Right, and let's take a step back for those who aren't familiar. Bar Karma, sci-fi series where, again, the audience has the chance to control everything. So they can submit ideas for where a scene should go, how a character should interact, create new characters.
Yeah, exactly. We actually have this thing on the web. We also have apps on the iPhone, the iPad. We're going to do Android. But basically, the fans are building a giant branching story tree for every episode, almost like a choose-your-own-adventure book.
Mm-hmm. I love, from a production aspect of it, to sit back and have your name on a show where everybody else is doing all the work. That is the smartest idea I've ever heard in television.
Yeah, that's when you just kind of kick back and let
the internet figure it out. Yeah,
until it breaks, of course.
Of course, and who knows? Who knows? But with the show, people pitching these ideas, community forming. The first episode hasn't even aired yet.
No.
So you've already got a built-in fan base, built-in audience, built-in interest.
Right. It just takes like one little thing. If you decide that woman's dress is going to be red, then you have an emotional investment in the show. You're going to make sure your fans, your family and friends all watch the show. Right. So we found that, online...
Then you'd be the creepy guy tweeting about her dress all the entire show.
Right.
Yeah.
Guess why the dress is red. Yeah. But really, that's the idea, is get emotional investment from the players. We see these giant communities forming around hit TV shows, but they don't really have any direct involvement with creating the show. And so by closing that loop, I think that's kind of where a lot of media is going. Not just games, but television, music, a lot of other things are getting very participatory. Will
Bar Karma welcome the Farmvillers of the world into their production cycle?
Oh, certainly, certainly. As long as Farmville does not appear in any episode of Bar Karma, yes.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to hop in. And when did the first episode is?
February 11th.
February 11th. And if people can they still get involved right now? Can they?
Certainly. Yeah, we have a pipeline. We're working on episodes all through the season, so they can come in right now and be involved in episode 5, and then 6 and 7, etc.
In between crop cycles, you heard it, Farmvillers. Get out there and make it happen. Will, it's an absolute pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you for having me.
And good luck with the project. It's a fascinating idea, and I hope it takes off.
Yeah.
I really do. You guys, again, Bar Karma premieres Friday, February 11th on Current TV.